empty cup. Just crack a smile and fill it up. Fill it up.
Is it after the final pour?
After the final pour.
Oh, and here we are for another edition of After the Final Pour. We did a vacation beer episode, and we went to Asheville. I went to Asheville. He went to Kansas City, or Missouri. Sorry, St. Louis, Missouri. No, St. Louis, Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City is in Missouri.
God, maybe I shouldn't be drinking right now. And there's one beer that I did bring back for Brandon as a thank you, but he's sharing it with me, which is very nice. Thank you for watching my cats. Was Persistence from Wicked Weed. Now, I've never had a Wicked Weed beer before. I know everybody's up in arms because AB InBev bought them, and, you know, people just don't like AB InBev these days. You know them by Bourbon County from Goose Island. Persistence is a barrel-aged American sour ale fermented with cherries. And this is what it says. Persistence is a barrel-aged sour red ale, 1 pound per gallon of, I don't know what kind of cherries these are, contributes to a leathery accent to this Flanders-inspired ale. After initial aging in fodders, we transfer this beer into wine barrels. Once this beer reaches its peak, we blend the barrels to attain the perfect balance of our house sour culture and North American cherries. Date bottled 12/05/17.
Oh.
So this was aged. Not only was it aged in barrels, but this was sitting front and center at their bottle shop. You've already taken a sip. What do you think about it?
It's delicious.
Ooh. I can see now why it's a Flanders inspired. It is pretty sour. Not so much where it's hurting the sides of my mouth. I've had a Flanders red like that before.
Yeah, it's tart. It is tart.
I get a little heartburn. I get a little acidic heartburn on that going down.
Totally.
The cherry's pretty good too. It's not as much cherry as I would have thought, or that I was expecting for 1 pound per gallon. Mike did 2 pounds per gallon when he did his cherry beer, and boy, did that stand out. Props,
yes, it
Mike.
did.
But overall, yeah, that's pretty good. And it looks like a Flanders red. It's kind of got that like brownish, reddish coloring to it. And they said it was aged in wine barrels, and I can definitely taste that. There is that like tannin wine type flavor aftertaste to this beer.
Yeah, I'm getting that too.
It clocks in at 7.6%.
Surprisingly, yeah, it tastes stronger, but yeah, I could totally get that why it would be there.
It's from their Canvas series. So, well, cheers to Wicked Weed for that. I know that with Wicked Weed, their sours are pretty well known, or at least highly sought. I'm sure they're still highly sought after, but maybe not so much of the uptight, prestigious, pure craft beer a-holes. No offense. I do understand the reason why people get upset about the AB InBev purchases, but until they're buying everything, chill the fuck out.
Yeah, and actually, I didn't know that AB InBev bought Wicked Weed.
Yeah, that was last year, I think, or a year ago, 2 years ago. But yeah, they did acquire them, and it doesn't look like it's stopping people from going, and they're clearly putting out something that's still very tasty.
Yeah.
So that's pretty rad. Thank you for sharing this with me.
Thank you for bringing it.
Hey, man, you know, I got to thank you somehow, and that was how I did it, through the joys of alcohol. Sorry. And with that, we have After the Final Pour.
Final pour.
That's it. All right. We're recording, aren't we?
Nope.
Oh, I thought we were.
We are now.
Okay, here we go.
Just came in.
Welcome to
After the Final Pour.
Thanks, Brandon.
And well, that's when the theme song should come. After the final pour.
Ooh, we do a remix of
So
it.
yeah. So the idea. So I came up with the name of After the Final Pour because my wife.
Same thing.
She loves The Bachelor and Bachelorette, and they do this show called After the Final Rose.
I never knew that that's what that was a rip on.
I told you that. You were drunk, things. But I told you that. But yeah.
Like most of After the Final Pours.
So it was like, I got the idea. I was like, we should just call it After the Final Pour. Because they had the show. It's like, After the Final Rose. And I was like, this will work.
And the first After the Final Pour anthology episode that we did, which was like, I think it was 4 or 5 After the Final Pours. You were not around, Brandon. And my cousin Kevin, who was on the Pale Ale episode, he and I did it. We put it together. Mm-hmm. And he and I came up with a theme song for it. We're both musicians. So we actually, you have heard it now that this is an After the Final Pour. You guys know what we're talking about. There is a theme song written for this, which is pretty great and over the top. But here we are.
So this is, yeah. So we are doing our After the Final Pour. We actually have Shalonda, Afro Beer Chick, is still with us.
Hey. Not still with us. It's After the Final Pour. You didn't even know she was here.
Yeah.
ABC, hey.
She's back for After the Final Pour.
So we had recorded our episode, so... ABC, hey. That's not alphabetical!
It is for me.
So her episode probably aired a long time ago, so now we're just kind of sitting here drinking some beer after the fact. So Tony picked out this beer at the local beer establishment. What are we drinking? Anybody?
We are drinking. Oh, please. This is, you have it here. Okay. You read it.
Okay, this is Pipeworks Imperial Coconut Jones Dog.
It's the first time I've ever seen it in a can.
Yeah, I know they changed the formatting on a lot of their stuff to go towards the can because they invested in this nice fancy-ass canning line. So.
That's awesome. And one thing I said before we started recording was that I could see the oil sitting on top of this beer, and you could tell
Agreed.
that oil is for sure coming from that coconut, which I remember when Goose Island did their prop with coconut, that also had like the film sitting on top. It's the oil just waiting, which they used real coconut and didn't do anything to get that oil out of
so I'm wondering like if, because it doesn't say if it's toasted or not, right? Because the perennial
Correct.
we had said untoasted.
Right.
Or yeah, it did say.
No, it said untoasted on that. This does not say anything. All it says is Imperial Milk Stout with cocoa nibs, vanilla, and coconut. And holy cow. Right off the bat, I know vanilla is main, like unless you had the Bourbon County vanilla last year, that was just a vanilla bomb that I really liked because it tasted like toasted marshmallows. I think vanilla is helping here bring up the coconut flavor in there. This tastes like more like shredded coconut that you're eating than anything else.
Shalonda?
If you've listened to the...
Okay, sorry.
I just want to throw out there the preface. If you're listening to this After the Final Pour, you know what we drank for the actual episode that we recorded before this, which was a lot. So we're all in pretty good spirits right now.
Not to mention, I was drinking before I even started the show.
Oh, no. Well, I had one beer before we started.
No, I had like 3.
Oh, man, you're a trooper.
I had like 3 before I got here.
No, she was like, I gotta go deal with these 2 dudes. Like, I gotta drink.
So now it's starting to
I saw
hey.
their pictures. They're like a bunch of douchebags. Don't follow Ace of Help Chicago. He'll threaten to kill you. Which apparently is my top tweet if you look me up.
From
2011. Yeah, 2011. Jokes follow, guys. Jokes will follow you. What do you think of this beer?
I actually like it. I like. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. So, my favorite coconut beer is Vlad from Hellstorm because it's very coconut forward. This one is not very coconut forward, but yet it's still very well balanced.
Yeah, I think that's what I was saying. I think the vanilla is making that coconut just pop a little bit more for me, which I love about vanilla in beers when you have other adjuncts in there. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like baking. When you make, chocolate chip cookie, you're throwing vanilla extract in there. That was a burp. You're throwing vanilla extract in there to bring up the brown sugar and the chocolate in that cookie. It's not necessarily like, ooh, great vanilla cookie. Mm-hmm. Vanilla in beers like this, I think, make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of chocolate, except for like. Let me go back to this.
Let me drink some water real quick. To cleanse my palate.
I get roasted malts in this. For me, I did not cleanse my palate. You guys did. I get more. roastiness that always, to me, lends to the chocolate flavors.
I get a little chocolate on the front end. Not a lot. I like, again, it's not overly sweet. I do get a faint coconut.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm laughing because as she's saying everything, the expressions on your face are changing, Brandon. You're like,
I was like,
yes.
yeah.
Like I'm thinking.
No, I agree. Yeah.
This is why I can't wait to have the camera here to film stuff like that. That's gonna be great.
I just gotta sit here like deadpan the whole time.
Like,
thank you.
Hey, welcome to the show.
By the time this comes out, we might already have filmed. So,
No, we
but
will.
I agree. Like, it's not everything is overpowering.
Yeah.
Everything kind of is well balanced. I don't get a hit of like maltiness. I get the malty. I mean, I guess the mouthfeel. I get what you would totally get from like a heavy malted beer or whatever. I kind of get that a little bit, but I'm getting like hints of coconut and like vanilla. Then undertones of coconut, like not overpowering, but it feels like it's even throughout the entire beer.
You know those coconut cookies people make around Christmas?
No.
The good ones or the bad ones?
This is not an insult to Pipeworks.
It is.
The bad ones. The bad ones where it's almost like wet coconut that you're chewing into and it's not like fully baked. You know that flavor that you get
The
from
ones
that?
that you have to constantly chew it in order to get it down.
That is, but see, I don't like the cookie. I like the flavor, and that's kind of what the first sip reminded me of. Unlike the perennial. I'm thinking of something else. The perennial beer that we had for the episode that we recorded for. That as I was finishing it, that coconut was really popping. The first sip to me, I got a lot of coconut. Now I'm getting more of a vanilla-y stout with hints of coconut, and like you were saying about the chocolate. I get more roasty than chocolate, like a dark chocolate. Which
I can see that.
Which I think cocoa nibs lend their.
I can see it.
To it.
No, I can't. No, I can't.
I like your brutal honesty on it. I can see it. Wait, no, it's gone. My eyes are closed. I can see nothing.
I don't even really get the roastiness. I get faint hits of sugar. I get the vanilla most definitely, and I get the coconut a little, just faint.
Yeah,
not the roastiness.
It's not prominent.
You know, you're right. It's not roasty. It's bitterness that I should have been saying.
There you go. There you go.
See?
There you go. See, now we're on the same page.
Thank you. That's kind of what I meant. I should not. No, the fun of after the final pour is how much we drank beforehand to try and decipher what it is we're tasting.
This is the non-sober part of the.
Overall, I think it's pretty good. Would I consider it a coconut beer? Probably not.
I wouldn't consider this as a coconut beer.
It's a good sweet stout.
The perennial one that we had on the show was a coconut beer. Like for instance, like that one reminded me a little bit of the, those damn Girl Scout cookies that come out. Samoa. Yeah. The addictive ones.
I like how you said. Oh, that's why you said "damn Girl Scout cookies" because they're
damn you Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, damn you Girl Scouts too. No. What? I think there's still Thin Mints you left at my mother-in-law's house in the freezer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, this is more of just a solid sweet stout with some vanilla flavors in there, higher bitterness. And a hint of coconut.
So here's the thing. So they had one Pipeworks, and I'm gonna have to call you out on this one.
It is Pipeworks.
Yeah, Pipeworks. So here's the thing.
Calling you out.
I'm calling you out, Pipeworks.
ABC.
ABC. Now,
here's the ABC call out.
I've always loved Pipeworks beers, but 2 beers you guys have missed the mark on. Like this one. I want to taste coconut. If you want to taste coconut, damn it, I want to taste coconut. They have one called S'more Money, S'more Problems. Dude, I got no graham cracker.
Brandon's got that. Yeah.
I got nothing.
I
was so mad. And I bought it as a single can. When I paid $70.99 for this and I didn't get any of the stuff that you claim was in there, I wanted a refund.
No. So the only Pipeworks beer I've had a problem with, and I don't know if this was early on, was the mint truffle abduction.
I'm okay with mint. I don't really drink
it. It did not taste like. I mean, maybe it was the batch, maybe it was the bottle. I don't know what the date was on it, but I did not get like mint chocolate from that. It had this like weird spice to it, and the only thing I could relate it to, and maybe because it's the same recipe, no, it's not the same recipe, because the pastrami on rye ale is not a stout, but the only thing it reminded me of that they did was the pastrami on rye beer. Have you ever had that one?
No.
You only need to have it once, because it does taste like pastrami, like it's the seasoning of pastrami in a beer, which was, I thought, super cool. And then I had this mint truffle stout, and it was almost similar, which is weird. So I don't know if it was the bottle, I don't know if it was me. I did not like it. I don't dislike this beer, but to call it a coconut, chocolate, vanilla sweet stout, I think you can just call it an Imperial sweet stout with hints of these things.
So this is where I call out all the breweries at. If you want to
go.
add on adjuncts into your beers,
ABC call out.
this is like my biggest pet
That's
peeve.
going to be our podcast now. It's going to be the ABC call out.
Ooh, now you're on every episode. Welcome to the team.
So it's like, if you're going to add adjuncts to your beers, damn it, I want to taste them.
I agree 100%.
You know, like
Yeah.
if you're going to say it's chocolate, I want to taste chocolate. If you're going to say it's raspberry, gingleberry, whatever the hell that is, I want to taste that.
Yeah.
It's like, don't tell me you're putting this in the beer, and then when I go to drink, it's like, dude, it's like,
Maybe
like
it's
a baseline. It's like a baseline stout.
I think we've gotten to the point now in beers like this and stouts where we're expecting to taste those things. Where before maybe it was like, oh, here's subtle hints of this. I agree with you. I don't want to have to search for those flavors.
Yeah.
Going back to Bourbon County from Goose Island. Last year when they did their vanilla, a lot of people were like, man, this is a vanilla bomb. Like, it was like just drinking vanilla. I remember the first sip I took, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I like this. It kind of feels disjointed. And then I had the second sip, and I was like, man, this is kind of like a burnt toasted marshmallow. I really like this. Not a knock on Revolution, who we were just talking about, but I did not like Vanilla Death.
What did you think of?
It tastes like, by the way, Vanilla Death just tastes like Death Star to me.
What did you think of Goose Island's Midnight Orange? I know a lot of people were like, no. And I liked it.
I hate the idea of chocolate and fruit.
Okay.
Which I know we already talked about. Beer from Hubbard's Cave, the chocolate raspberry.
You gotta try that one, though.
Chocolate strawberry. I don't like physically eating chocolate-covered fruit. I like chocolate. I like fruit. I don't want them together. What I've noticed that in beers, it's very good. When I saw Midnight Orange coming out, I said, gross. I don't want to try it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't sound good. And then I tried it, and I ate crow because it was fucking delicious. I really did enjoy. Oh, look at this! I like the setup you got going on for a picture that's happening right now.
Who else is recording?
No, I know. I know we're still recording. This is unedited. I did like Midnight Orange. I thought it was very good. And Brandon, did you get Midnight Orange Bourbon County last year?
Nope.
So I think Clark still has one. Oh, you know what? So I'm just thinking of this now. A good episode for you to come back for was an idea that Clark had, which was a mystery beer episode where a beer is brought out and we need to figure out maybe what the style is, or if you do have a Midnight Orange. Yeah, we should try that sometime. Not now. You have to guess either the style or what the actual beer is, but the listener will find out what it is before we all start guessing.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, I'm wrapped up on this. How do you guys feel about it?
I'm good.
That was delicious.
Yeah, that was very good. Overall, I liked it, but I agree with you. If you're going to say an adjuncts in the beer, please put it
Make
forward.
it prominent. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want hints of something, then say, here's an Imperial sweet stout with cocoa and vanilla with hints of coconut or hints of chocolate or hints of this. Because when you say there's hints, that means when I get that, I'm not searching for it. I'm like, oh, yeah, there it is. If you're telling me there's coconut in there and I got to search for it.
Or if it's in the name of the beer.
Yeah.
Right.
That's kind of a downer. But thanks again for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
This has been awesome.
After the final pour.
And
we're out.
Bye, guys.
I'm just afraid it's going to get worse.
You think?
Yeah, it's recording.
Okay.
So this is one of our, I guess this is after the final pour.
Yeah, this is after the final pour.
Yeah, so the last episode actually we just recorded was not specifically around like a style of beer. We were kind of recapping the Mount Vernon Brew Fest. So we just decided to just kind of pull something random that I had sitting around.
Jesus Christ.
And I pulled, it's an Ola Dubh Ale by Harviestoun. I don't know even know how to say it, but it's from Scotland.
That's a good Scottish accent.
And it's in a 30-year... It was aged in a 30-year-old single malt Scotch whiskey barrel. So now I've never had this fresh, so I don't know what I'm comparing it to.
I can tell you what I'm comparing it to.
Well, yeah, like otherworldly things. But this is interesting. So, funnily enough, we saw ale. We're like, oh, it's not a stout. But in the description, Dubh stands for black oil. Because it kind of tastes like oil.
It in all honesty, it tastes like date nut bread mixed with I don't know. It's not great.
Mixed with tears.
Yeah, with tears of... Good thing is that, number one, you only spent $15 on it. At least that was the price point on the box.
I'm sure that's what it was, and this was...
This was probably pretty... I do get some of that barrel, the barrel flavor in this, so I will assume, we can check on maybe Untappd or Rate Beer or whatever, see what people thought about it. This was probably pretty tasty when it came out. It probably wasn't anything that blew anybody's mind, but it probably wasn't bad.
We should do this again. I don't know for certain, but I swear I might have seen this at Fishman.
Really?
They may have had newer versions of this. So let's point out, this is a 12-year-old bottle.
Yes.
This is 2007.
Yeah. So this is not a knock on this beer as far as it being fresh or the brewery. This is a knock on Brandon storing it for too long.
Yeah. I mean, literally, the moment I bought... Well, and I didn't buy it in 2007. I bought it probably 2011 or 2012. And it went straight into my cellar then, and it sat there, and then I moved here, and it's been sitting in like my cellar area now. So it's probably the entire time it's been sitting around 65 degrees.
And here it is.
And here it is, and we didn't put it in the fridge or anything. We haven't let it warm up. I don't know if that would do any good.
No, I don't. I don't think so. There's not much carbonation to it. It's pretty flat.
Yeah.
And it really just it smells like old pecan pancake syrup. That's what it smells like.
Pecan pancake syrup.
And the reason why I say that is because you remember when you were a kid and you ever go to IHOP, and IHOP used to, I don't know if they still do, I haven't been to IHOP in years, they used to have like 4 types of syrups just sitting on the table.
Yes.
They had like strawberry, regular, whatever, and pecan was one of them. And I remember...
Really?
Yeah. The pecan one just smelling so nutty and so unappealing. Like, why the fuck?
It's a bit nutty.
Yeah. I can British on that. Why would anybody put that on their pancake? That's how I feel about this beer. I wouldn't put this beer on my pancake.
I'm glad. I would not put this... I'm almost questioning why I'm putting this beer in my mouth.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on the rest of it. I got a little bit left in there. I don't.
Tony and I are dead in the morning.
Yeah.
You know the culprit.
Yeah, it is the Scottish fellows who did
my heart hurts.
Not a great way to start off the next season of After the Final Pour, but hey, that's what this is about. It's about having one more beer and discussing it and dissecting it. And it's about getting it from your cellar
or some cellar.
Yeah, you know what? I think I need to. Oh, I've got a perfect beer. The next time we do an After the Final Pour, I have this beer that my cousin gave to me. He sent to me. He and I did some beer trading. He sent it to me, and it is a barrel-aged smoked porter. And I think it's a barrel-aged... Oh, no, even more. It's a barrel-aged smoked sour porter. And I'm almost positive it sat in the barrel for 2 years. So that is, and Brandon, I think you've actually seen that before, whether I travel with it or with it being at my house. That has been a beer that I have had in my fridge, and I think that will be a After the Final Pour beer that we do. What is that? Brandon just came back and brought something. There's a brown bottle. There's a dark liquid. I can't tell what it is because there is a price tag on top. And he's going to turn it towards... Nope, he's not turning it towards me. He's just... We don't know what it is. There's no... Is this a Pipeworks beer? No, it's not a Pipeworks beer. Okay, so there's no label on it. It's a dark colored beer. Oh, and it is pouring like fucking
motor oil. Oh my God. Is that a Bourbon County? It's not a Bourbon County. Because that is just fucking, that's what that looks like to me. Do you know where it's from? And you're not telling me? Okay. So you know where it's from. It's not Bourbon County. Brandon just licked the side of the glass. Not Bourbon County. Oh man. That smells good. So this is, he just poured another beer. We're off the Death in a Small Glass. I'm going to take a sip of this. Let's see what this is.
Keep thinking.
I think it's definitely an Imperial Stout. I don't know if there's barrel in it. Might be a barrel aged beer.
That's actually that's what I went. I ran back to check real quick because I'm not 100% sure. I wasn't 100% sure, but I don't think it was.
There's a little oxidization to it, but nothing.
It's a 2011.
Mm-hmm. Is it
only about 8 years old?
It's pretty tasty for an 8-year-old beer. There's a good carbonation to it. Nice and roasty. I like the bitterness in there too. It's not like punching me in the face, but I could sip on that for the rest of the night. What is it?
It is a Dark Horse Plead the Fifth.
Hey, Plead the Fifth. Always, man, that Plead the Fifth just ages so well. And the reason why I say that is because I know Ron's got so many of those fucking Plead the Fifths, and they're so good. But that, I mean, that's like motor oil.
Yeah, and it's not the barrel aged version, which is even more impressive.
Sure, yeah. That's great flavor, man. I mean, like I said, it was nice and roasty. Not like a good bitterness, but not like... Well, I could sit there and I could drink this. Mm-hmm. What a nice, comforting follow-up to what we started with.
Yes.
Also, I've been talking now straight for about 10 minutes, I feel like.
That's all right.
But do you remember that beer that I had? That sour, barrel-aged, smoked porter?
Yes.
That's going to be my contribution after the final pour.
Sweet.
It's going to be great.
It'll be a good one to talk about, because that one is extremely different. So.
That sounds crazy as hell, and it was 2 years. It was aged for 2 years before I got it.
Oh, wow.
Actually, the brewery ages it for 2 years. My cousin sent it to me, and I think he aged it for a year, and now I've aged it for 2 to 3, maybe 3 to 4 years. So this sour barrel-aged smoked porter, we're gonna see how that. Watch it be something that's just amazing. Because in my head, it's I hear it and I go, gross. Who knows? It might be fantastic. I think it's from New Mexico or Phoenix, wherever my cousin was.
Phoenix,
living.
New Mexico.
I forget where my cousin was living.
New Mexico. I think it was New Mexico.
Yeah, it was New Mexico.
Wasn't it Albuquerque?
Oh yeah, it was New Mexico. Yeah, but yeah, man, plead the fifth for the win on this one. The other one, let's try it fresh sometime. I cannot get over how weird that was.
No, like the flavors were just. It was too much. It was too much.
Too much as far as age.
Yeah, well,
too much age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Well, and I would have. When I first bought the bottle, like out of curiosity, I was like, oh, I kind of want to try this. But in my head, I was like, oh, maybe this is special and I should age it. I didn't even look at the bottle at the time to see that it was bottled in 2007, because if I had seen that, I probably would have drank it right away.
Sooner.
Yeah.
Well,
you live and you learn.
Yeah, well, Dark Horse plead the fifth for the win on this one tonight.
Yeah.
Maybe after the final pour, we should just do beer versus beer.
Yeah.
That's a good way to really not be productive after the show.
Hey.
Well,
it works out.
Yeah, I like it. Well, thanks, man, for sharing these two with me.
Of course.
You shared all the beer tonight. I appreciate that.
Yeah, the Dark Horse saved the day.
Yes, thank you, Dark Horse, for saving the day. I had a lot of good beer tonight. Thank you. It was a good Sunday night with you, Brandon. I appreciate that. And
I enjoyed the Pliny.
Yeah, the Blind Pig was good, too.
But again, these are things that we had in our full episode that we did in our episode 11.
We'll see how smart you are if you can... you already said one episode.
Yep, episode 11. Go back and listen.
Anyways, well, we're going to throw it back to whoever might be hosting after the final pour. Could be me and Brandon. Could be Brandon and Kevin. Could be me and Kevin. Could be Pat and Kevin. Who knows? Who knows who's going to be hosting after the final pour?
It's a mystery.
Woo, but we're throwing it back to them right now. Take it away, dumbasses.
Oh, it's still recording. Shit.
And that's going to stay.
Oh, dumbass.
Then it's going to stay like
We are
that. Moly, that is a stinky beer in the best way possible. It doesn't stink bad. It stinks...
So good.
Stinks so good.
Stinks bigly.
Come on, baby, make me stink so good. That sounds inappropriate. What's it called?
BooGoop.
BooGoop. There's a P at the end of there. BooGoop. From Three Floyds and Mikkeller, right?
Yep.
Three Floyds. Three Floyd cards.
Yeah, Three Floyds and Mikkeller, BooGoop. It does not say when it was brewed. But I feel like I've had this one for quite a while.
So when did I say you checked in?
8 years ago.
8 years ago. 2012 at Fishman's. So I don't know when this was actually brewed, but the description is delightful buckwheat wine brewed by Three Floyds and Mikkeller in Belgium, the fourth collaboration between our two breweries. So that was a while ago, and I don't know, what are your first impressions on this, man?
I'm liking the mouthfeel.
Yeah.
Very... I want to say caramel, like I get a caramel, but I don't. But I think that contributes to the mouthfeel that I normally feel when like a beer is kind of caramelly.
Sure.
Is that a word? Whatever. The aftertaste slightly astringent.
Yeah, it's not.
Because it's not fresh. Definitely not fresh.
No, the bitterness.
It could be possibly 8 years old.
That's true. It's kind of funny that this is the one we ended up drinking because we just finished the episode with Shalonda and we were drinking 2 amber beers, or at least one was for sure an amber beer. Not sure about the Eris beer, but it's amber in color. And one thing about amber beers that I didn't get to say on that episode was that some amber beers, or a lot of amber beers, or like even like English brown ales, they have like this tea type bitterness. Like when you have a cup of tea,
Yes. Yeah.
of hot tea, there's that bitterness from it. I get that. I get those from ambers often, and I'm kind of getting that type of bitterness from here. But there's also a sweetness with it being like a wheat wine.
Yeah.
And I'm really interested with it being called a buckwheat wine.
Yeah.
Obviously they use buckwheat. That's pretty interesting. It is definitely a reddish, brownish. It's more of a copper color.
Yep. Yeah, totally.
Actually matches your Foo Fighters shirt a little bit. But yeah, there's still some fruitiness from the hops, or it's from the yeast. I'm not sure, but I'm perceiving it as hops because of the bitterness in the actual beer itself. Yeah. It's pretty good if it's an 8-year-old beer.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it. I don't think I've ever had a buckwheat beer before. I am not disappointed. Was this? I think it clocks in at 10.4 ABV.
Yep.
Ooh. Man, wheat wines. You know, wheat wine's a style I haven't brewed that I'd like to. Oh, I didn't know that on Untappd, if you go through and click on a style, you can see what it is you've checked in of those styles.
Nice.
Oh man, my favorite on here is the Anniversary Ale from Shorts. Ugh. First time I had that was May 5th, 2015. Most recent, September 9th, 2018.
Nice.
The last wheat wine I had, Bourbon County.
Womp womp. That's not a bad thing.
No. That's cool, I really don't know. What do you got there, man?
Oh, this is for you.
Oh, you got me something?
Yeah, you can go
On the
ahead.
podcast?
Yeah. You can go ahead and open up your gift from Benjamin.
Oh, sweet. Oh, yes. No one in my fucking house can use this at all. I'm just going to tear this open. You can hear me opening it up. I'm ripping it right off. I am Brandon's son's godfather, and Brandon has given me the coolest pint glass ever. And it is the Godfather movie logo on a pint glass. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
This is my glass. I'm not letting anybody use this. And I'm going to hand wash this shit. Thanks, man. This is great. Man, I wish Becca was awake because I brought the gifts for Benjamin. There's 2 things in there. Laura was proud of me that this is what I got. So Laura's smarter than I am. So, dude, thank you so much. This is awesome.
Welcome.
Oh, cool. Yes. Now when I go, now I'm gonna watch The Godfather this weekend.
Never seen The Godfather.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, are you being serious?
Yep.
You've never seen the original Godfather?
Nope.
Holy. Well, you know what we're gonna do one day? We're gonna get the mics rolling. Everything's an episode. Everything's an episode. That is honestly the coolest pint glass I have at home. Well, my mother-in-law got me one that says it's a Golic thing, and that's been etched. Everybody in my family has used it except me, which I'm like, what the fuck? It's got my name on it. This one for sure is just mine. Always a Godfather, never a God.
Yeah.
Super cool, man.
We got you that, and we got Kim a wine glass that said The Godmother. It's kind of a similar logo.
That's awesome. Facebook just suggested I become friends with her.
Oh.
I probably should. We're the godparents.
You're welcome to.
Yeah.
Gotta keep in touch.
Thanks, man. Thank you very much.
Gotta keep in touch.
Yeah, we gotta make sure that Benjamin knows what's up, which I think he will. I'll pretty much be around all the time. He has no choice. Man, I really wish you could open up those gifts right now. I'm so excited for it. It's my favorite.
We can film it and send it to you.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know, I think it's cool. But yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Of course.
Cool. And also, thank you for sharing this beer. I did bring one. I don't think we're going to get to that tonight. It is also pretty high up there. Maybe it'll be another after the final pour. We'll see. We're reaching the point where, like I was saying, where did you check it out yet? Yeah. The bottle. We're the Adversary, Russian Imperial Stout, 2015, and it says it ages well in a cellar. So, thank you, Gus Fishman's. Gus, appreciate it. He brought that over for my birthday, as well as whatever that sour was. That I told Laura that sour was a big deal. I don't even remember what it is, but the sour that he brought over.
Did he open it after I left?
We didn't open it.
Oh.
It's in my refrigerator. I was like, so apparently this is like a pretty big deal sour.
It's like a Three Fontaine or like...
no.
Cantillon? Yeah.
I don't recognize the front of the label, though. So I did tell Laura that...
Don't ever touch this.
Well, no, we have to share it with other people, like you and Mike.
Hey, Laura, if you ever want this, you got to be on the podcast.
Ooh, we should. Actually, I've got a Jessup Farm sour as well that Bo gave me that I not traded. We gave each other beer, but I gave him the cherry sour beer from Lake Effect, and he gave me that. So, yeah. Speaking of which, I'm gonna say it. We didn't say it in the episode. I'm gonna say it here. Hopefully, the plan is to go to GABF this year and be able to talk to Jessup Farmhouse, that brewery from Bo, who Brandon and I hung out with 2 years ago at GABF. Bo's a cool guy. He lives out there in Fort Collins. He's friends with the guys at Jessup Farm. And I think the only thing you and I have to do, Brandon, is pour their beer. Boy, that sounds like a bummer, right?
I don't know if I can handle it. Get my pouring arm.
Let's start working out now. So we'll see. That's kind of just a conversation piece at this point. But I'll say this: as far as wheat wines go, but there's okay. So as I'm drinking this more, there's almost, I don't want to say minty or medicinal, but there is something that's lingering there. It's like iced tea, man. It is like floral, flowery, herby type. And maybe I get
that in the back, yeah.
And that's just kind of like, it reminds me of when my grandmother used to make Lipton iced tea. And you'd have some, and then the aftertaste in your mouth that just kind of lingered. That's what this is reminding me of. It's definitely not a bad thing, but it's just...
I can see that.
I'm assuming this beer was probably pretty fucking hot when it was first released.
I don't remember. But probably.
Well, it's tasty, and I appreciate you sharing that with me. My refrigerator is now filled with a plethora of a whole bunch of beers. Some beer you brought for me, Dino S'mores. Very tasty this year. I had one of them. I've
never had it.
Wait, you've had Dino S'mores before, but not this year's.
No,
you've had Dino S'mores before.
No.
Then you only bring Dino S'mores to my house and you've never drank it? Because it's the second birthday you've given me Dino S'mores.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. No, I've never had the coffee.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, we'll drink that soon. We'll drink that soon. We'll do either an after the final pour or just we'll drink it with Clint or something because I don't want or we'll just drink it without the podcast.
Yeah,
it's good. I just had the big hugs recently. That was good.
I get a big hugs.
The coffee big hugs from this year, which the variants are just sitting at the Benny's by us. There's the vanilla, or no, barrel aged. The barrel aged big hugs is just sitting at Benny's.
Really?
Yep, just sitting on the shelf.
Did you not buy them all?
I didn't, and I also didn't buy the barrel aged Guinness.
Where's your dedication? What, a barrel aged Guinness?
They aged in the bullet. Shalana talked about that on the first episode she was on.
That's right. Yeah.
So that bullet, but it's like $19 for a 4-pack. And it's already over a year old, so I don't know what we're getting ourselves into with that. But who knows?
Tastiness? I don't know.
Yes.
You know, all the money we got rolling in for this podcast.
Yeah.
Pay for
Thank
it
you, everybody. Thank you to all the Patreons for supporting us, having a Patreon account, and supporting the podcast, which is something we should look into. I want to start getting, we got to get like coasters made or stickers made or something. Clark. We need more stickers.
Well, now that we got that fancy new logo.
Which, out of the whole video debacle, that's what we got out of it was the logo. So, we got a new logo at least.
Sweet.
All right.
And it's actually a good logo, though. So.
It's a great logo. On the app, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it that maybe for episodes, I might stop using pictures when I upload and just use the logo. And then, we need to get a website going.
Yeah.
Do we just take over the 212 website?
I have an idea.
All right.
We can talk about it offline.
It's off mic. All right, well, there you go. We drank BooGoop.
3 Floyds and Mikkeller combo.
BooGoop, and we get
Mikkeller and 3 Floyds combo.
Then I went off on a tangent about other shit.
Life.
Yeah.
It's what after the final pour is all about, my friend.
I can't wait to hear all these mixed together. It's the best part. Now we are.
Oh, I hit the wrong button.
I deleted everything.
No, we're recording.
Okay, after the final pour.
After the final pour.
Some context. This was an after the final. This is an after the final pour. During our dry January, and we only had technically 3 beers before drinking what we're about to drink. And we had the Joseph Brau Hefeweizen, the Lagunitas Willetize Coffee Stout, and the fucking fantastic Old Stock North Coast Brewing 2009 Cellar Reserve that you aged technically for 11 years. And how do you top Old Stock 2009, Brandon?
You throw in a 2011 Sam Adams Utopias.
Christ almighty. Right off the bat, you had said maple syrup. I smell chocolate and brandy.
No, I get that too.
Because you and I have, well, you crack this open. A little history on this. You crack this open. You're living at your condo. It was the night we were going to Lagunitas for the first time.
Correct.
After a year they had been open in Chicago.
Yep.
And I came by. It was maybe one of the first times I came to your condo. And
probably.
We had a Goose Island Christmas ale that was in the bomber that was aged, that was super tasty. And
I miss those beers.
I knew about Utopias.
But you didn't know about Utopias.
I didn't know about it. And you were like, oh, I've got it. And I was like, what? And you're like, yeah, you want to try it? And it just blew my mind. That really blossomed our beer friendship.
Oh, yeah.
How much you're willing to share with me, which I love. Thank you very much. And I try to pay that forward. Like I said, I'm saving the Well, you're basically going to have both of those props with me that we had from Prop Day at this point. And we got a 2016 still. But I remember just being so...
I just realized.
Really? Oh, right. Dude, Ron loves that one. It's smoky. It's a spicy one. Oh, dude.
I think I just have bottles and I've never tried.
I
did try it on tap.
It is a spicy... before we get to Utopias, it is the best spicy beer I've ever had, and I don't really care for spicy beers. But that Chipotle,
we do 2 beers.
Let's just crack it open. We'll do another after the final pour after this. Okay, let's talk about Utopias first, and then we'll make our decision. If you guys don't know, now you know. Utopias is Sam Adams' highest alcohol beer, and they call it a beer because it's not distilled. Correct?
Correct. Yeah, no, it's not.
It is just a fermented malt beverage that is an ale brewed with maple syrup. And the alcohol by volume, you guys can probably hear me turning the awesome...
Does it actually say in the bottle?
No, it does not.
No, but I know it's normally around 27-28%.
Which is funny because last year... At the end of last year, there was all these sites like Sam Adams brews a beer that's illegal in all these states. And it's yeah, fuckers, it's been illegal in these states since then.
Yeah.
Or since the...
Well, and here's the thing now is that there's other brewers that brew what they're calling beer, and it's 40% or 50% or 60%. And it's it's not actually beer.
Yeah.
Part of it's fermented. So.
Yeah, that's it. It's just a fermented... I mean, it's about as... beer as you can fucking have moonshine or wine.
Yeah.
It just has the ingredients of what beer. I mean, it's hops, yeast, barley, and water.
I mean, what do we got to do to go on brew day with Sam Adams when they brew Utopias?
Well, speaking of that...
Sam, can we come?
We did talk about
he's now they're merged with Dogfish Head.
Worldwide Stout that's aged in the Utopias barrels, which...
We just talked about that at the last
the episode that we recorded before this, after the final pour. Maybe we'll save that for an after the final pour, or save it for, a fun episode. But right away, I'm smelling chocolate, I'm smelling brandy.
Yep.
I'm excited.
It's hot.
Holy fuck, is it hot. And it tastes like brandy and maple syrup.
Yep.
It's no wonder. I mean, the price point is
astronomical.
Insane. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It is not something you're hey, go ahead and crack this open and just have it.
A couple 2-3.
Yeah, it is. It's like a liqueur almost.
Yeah. And that's how it's meant to be enjoyed, is an ounce at a time and
Yeah, it is a special type of tasting. It's not something... I'm not seeking this out, but it's not bad. You know what
Correct.
I mean? If you're the only person I know that has Utopias.
That's because I rule.
You're a pretty good guy. I'm not opposed to getting another bottle. By that I mean, let's just, pull the podcast funds together. You heard that, Big J Productions? We're going to need some help on this one. To get another bottle to just, crack open for occasions like this.
Yeah.
This is, man, it is... people who have not had it, it does not taste like beer.
No.
By
and
any
it's
means.
a lot. I feel like it's gotten better since when we first tasted it.
Mm-hmm. There's this, man, Laura would hate this. There is this tartness that kind of hits your tongue, and then it is maple, and then it has a burn of whiskey or bourbon.
Yep.
And the aftertaste in your mouth is syrup.
Correct.
And it's sticky, and it's just so unique that you don't want to have something like this all the time.
Yep.
And I don't mean that in a negative way. It is something that's very tasty and something that's
your
very
mouth
good.
even gets coated
That's
almost
exactly what I
feeling
was gonna say.
you know, if you were a Vermont highway trooper just chugging, maple syrup at a diner, that's what your mouth is going to feel like right after this. Hey, if any Super Troopers, you guys want to come on our episode, you're welcome.
I'm gonna throw this out here, you Broken Lizard fans or Broken Lizard people. I had low expectations for Super Troopers 2 until I watched it. Like, even for the beginning, I'm like, where the fuck are we going with this? And that movie surprised me how funny it was.
I've watched it like 4 or 5 times.
Dude, both Super Trooper movies.
Working from home, it's on. I'm watching it.
Laura has never seen Super Troopers. And at this point, I feel like if I show it to her, she's not going to appreciate it.
God damn it.
My God.
That was nice. Nice knowing you, Laura.
The funny thing is that while we're doing this after the final pour, I have to mention the Old Stock Ale again from North Coast. The fact that I had this and the Sam Adams, like right now, that last little sip that I had is more tart than anything, and not in like an affected weird way, but it's like, I'm gonna reek like alcohol for the rest of the night.
Sweet.
Yeah, no, it is sweet. Yeah, no, because it's maple syrup. Man,
don't worry, honey. I just chugged a bottle of maple syrup.
I watched Super Troopers. Oh, you wouldn't know that because you've never seen it, Laura. Thanks a lot.
What is wrong with you, Laura?
Oh, man. Those last 2 beers tonight. The Old Stock Ale 2009 Cellar Reserve from North Coast and the Sam Adams 2011 Utopias. What a way to just kind of F dry January in the B right there. The sad part is that we're probably not going to record another episode until February.
You never know.
Good news is my birthday is February 6th, and I plan on having some Bourbon County with you.
Nice.
So we'll see how that
Way to
goes.
go, birthdays.
Yeah, birthdays are cool. Your birthday's in September, so we got some time. I know. A lot of stuff going on in September. We'll see where we end up. Right. After the final boy.
Yay, dry January.
Dry January is the best.
We're making up for it right now with all
I'm going to feel like shit tomorrow. Guess I'm not playing Star Wars when I get home.
Oh, I gotta drive my kid to school in the morning. Yay.
Ooh. No, man. I got some pretty sweet shots of beers tonight.
That's all that matters.
All right. Are we recording? Are we recording? We're doing this? Okay, great. Hey. Welcome to After the Final Pour. It's
after some final pours.
Oh, man. This is the first time we've done it. I mean, the show is only a year old, but we're doing back-to-back recordings of After the Final Pour to see, I think, how sober we will be afterwards. So we just recorded the episode of the just kind of shooting the shit. We did the Joseph Brau Hefeweizen. We did the Lagunitas Willatize Coffee Stout and the amazing North Coast Old Stock.
And that was the white whale that I pulled out.
Yeah, oh my God. Cellar Reserve. Anybody who has that, go ahead and feel free to bring that to us.
Bring us all of them now.
Then we decided to do an After the Final Pour with Sam Adams 2011 Utopias.
Yep.
Now, to help round out that After the Final Pour recording, because we talked about it, Brandon, what are we... By the way, this is the perfect fucking temperature. You're...
I know what I'm doing.
You're fucking... I mean, but like, you bought the house and like, that was just a part of it. Like,
this was originally going to be the room for the beer.
No, that was
the
room you chose. Jesus. One day we'll have a tour of Brandon's house.
So this is a 2016 Goose Island Proprietors Bourbon County brand stout.
Since 1992.
That's what it says. That's what she said. So it is a stout aged in bourbon barrels with maple syrup, chipotle peppers, chipotle, however you pronounce it, and cocoa nibs added.
It's like a restaurant.
So, yeah, Chipotle.
The ex-McDonald's own restaurant.
Yeah, so, as everyone is questioning, because I know you're all anxious, it is not aged with cocoa nibs. The cocoa nibs are added after the fact, because it says cocoa nibs added. So it was bottled on 15 September 16, which was 2 days before my birthday.
So we're looking at solid 4 years.
Yep. 13.1% alc/vol. So it's alcohol by volume. For those that don't know.
For you Googans who don't know. And I'm going to give a little history on this again because we talked about it on the episodes and the other after the final pour, which I think the way it's going to play out is that the Utopias and then this episode or this blurb will play out afterwards. This Bourbon County, Brandon has not tried. I've had it a few times. Or he doesn't remember trying it, I should say. Sorry.
I mean, I've had a lot of spicy beers, so I don't know, man.
He's had a spicy beers. This one, I feel like it's hit or miss for people. I remember not enjoying it when I first had it. And then when I had it again, it was good. And our friend Ron, he and I are one of a few people that I think actually enjoy this iteration of the Goose Island Bourbon County prop. And we've talked about it before, what prop is. Prop is the Chicago-only Bourbon County brand stout variant that is released, and there's a different ingredients each year. And he didn't break it. Man, he didn't break his Bourbon County glass. That sound you heard was him smashing his Bourbon County glass, which if had I done that, it would have been shattered in a bajillion pieces. I have no Bourbon County glasses left except for my tasters. But, oh man, smelling it. You know, it kind of just smells like Bourbon County up front. I know you said spicy when you got in there.
A little bit in the bottle, but not so
No,
much.
I can smell, there's a little smokiness.
Yeah.
So I've had it in bottles recently. Ron and I shared one. This is the bottle that I have that Mike and I purchased at my house right now. So I have 2 of the 2019s and 1 2016. So if we like this, maybe we'll be drinking this on my birthday as well. So, by the way, this has been a crazy dry January evening.
Undried January.
Undried. This is a sopping wet January.
Ooh.
That is smoky up front, like.
But not in a bad way, I don't think.
When I make chili, I use the chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. What I taste right there is the aroma that I'm getting with bourbon, with kind of chocolate, a little bit of coffee, but this is actually
Get a little
less
slight ting in the throat.
I'm not getting that right now.
Oh.
I'm not getting that spice, which is new for me. There's a little bit there, but
No, it's not bad. Like,
I'm getting a
it's
lot
just,
of smoke.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
and
so
that's
like I had a
what's possible.
residual thing in the throat, and then it kind of dissipated.
It dissipates, and that's the like I'll probably get it after a couple sips, but that's what I liked about this is that it was a spicy beer that wasn't like, oh man, that's hot. It's just there's this like almost when you use cayenne pepper, like a small amount of cayenne pepper in cooking. I feel like people talk shit about the 2016 prop because of the smokiness, because of the chipotle pepper, but it's so unique.
Yeah.
Each year is so unique. It's hard to say. I mean, I will say that Bananas Foster is up there, and 2019 is right there behind it. So those are my top two. If there was a third one, it's this. I would love to get my hands on a 2013 or a 2014. The 13 was just toasted coconut. The 14 was the cassia bark, which is like cinnamon with cocoa nibs, panela, which is brown sugar, and then coconut water.
You want to do that one next?
No, this is it. Any other time, I would say yes. Tonight, this is the last thing we're gonna do.
What, you gotta work tomorrow or something?
Loser.
I got a 3-day weekend coming up.
Oh man, I got a 3-day weekend coming up in February. Around my birthday. Boy, this is out there with one of my favorite bourbon counties, and I get why people might not like this.
Yeah.
It is assertive as far as the smokiness. Yeah.
The adventurous beer lovers who responded so favorably to our first batch of Bourbon County brand stout in 1992 and who loyally, year after year, share our passion for bourbon barrel aged stout. Cheers.
That's it.
No, I was like, and I wonder if that's. It says we brew this special variant to show our gratitude to our hometown friends. So like, I wonder, like, and I know this year, like, they had polled like the brewers, and like Eric basically got the winning flavor, but like
how it was before.
How do they do it like in years past? How do you know what people want?
I don't know. The only time I've ever met the brewers also was the Bananas Foster, and this past year, the double chocolate one, I didn't go to Prop Day, so I didn't know if they had. Which, if I'm not mistaken, they had like this giant wall that was like Plinko, where you paid a certain amount of money, you punched a hole and pulled out a bottle of Prop, and it was a random year. It didn't matter. You just paid $20, and that's what you got.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of wish that was a thing all the time. I don't care what prop it is. Just if I had to pay $25 to $30 for a random prop and you didn't know which one you were going to get, there has not been a bad prop. And I know probably, well, I can't say I know probably because I've seen the statistics, but a good chunk of people who listen to this podcast are in Chicago. I know it's becoming more readily available. I've seen prop on the shelves for the first time this year. It is definitely, I will not say, fuck. I'm going to say don't pay over $35 for prop.
Yeah.
After that, it's just price gouging. But, man, each year is just a very good special variant of Bourbon County.
Yeah, and there's, so like, one of my golden whales that I want to have on the podcast.
Ooh, golden whales, not a white whale, but a golden whale?
Golden whale.
I love that.
My golden whale. John Lafler. If I can get him on the podcast.
That would be outstanding.
So John Lafler, for those that don't know, currently runs Off Color Brewing. But he was a part of Bourbon County, of Goose Island when this whole Bourbon County, like, phenomenon just, like, took off.
Yeah.
And, like, when Prop took off. So he was a part.
That was around the time where he left, right?
A couple years, I think, after. I think he was there for the first 2 years of Prop, maybe, and then took off, and then started Off Color.
Which, we have not had an Off Color beer on the show yet, but Off Color is phenomenal.
I like that Dino S'more.
Did we have a Dino S'mores?
No, I'm saying, like...
We didn't do it after the final pour with Shalanda with the Dino S'mores? Dino S'mores?
I didn't have one. Did you bring one?
No, but I will say they've also done a collaboration with High Life, and I've yet to try that with Miller High Life.
Oh, yes,
Off Color. Oh, sorry, but go ahead and continue.
No, I mean, but just my thing was like, yeah, that would be an awesome conversation just to kind of get the background and like...
I agree. I mean, honestly, it's great. We've talked about Goose Island so many times. We've talked about Bourbon County so many times that, we've joked around they should be a sponsor, but I'm not. Brandon and I are big fans, and they are definitely a big reason why we enjoy these craft beers, these like big beers, these big barrel-aged beers that they try and do a whole lot with it. And I'm gonna go on record here and say that when AB InBev purchased them, it was kind of what's gonna happen with our hometown heroes. And I will say they are one of the breweries that benefited immensely from the AB InBev Inquisition. Now, business practices, I don't know. But as far as the beer goes, I have not seen a dip in quality. I can say 312. I don't enjoy it. I mean, maybe I'll go and revisit it. I like 312 Dry Hop. I like the other random beers they've released recently.
They're doing a lot more cool stuff. I will say that.
But the flagship beers, people are upset when Honker's Ale went away. Honker's Ale should be a beer that is still available. It's a great amber beer.
Correct.
But, I've had some other AB InBev, what is it? One in California, there's a numbered ball, 12 barrel, 13 barrel, something barrel?
10 barrel.
10 barrel. I thought I was getting something amazing, and I tried it. I was like, this is just kind of subpar. And I looked it up, and I was like, oh, you're owned by AB InBev. Okay. Well, I don't know. No politics.
How about that Ballast Point?
Ballast Point, yeah. I wore it on the last. I wore the hat on. I mean, we'll see when the video comes out. It might be out now by this point. Ballast Point is now technically a craft beer brewery again. They went from being owned by Constellation,
Yep, Constellation Brands,
to being bought by
which owns like Corona. And
Yeah.
like,
and now it's owned by a bedazzled jean company. What's the name of the company? Is it? No, but their name just reminds me of like
Kings and Convicts.
Kings and Convicts. That's like the most Janko sounding name.
yeah.
But they are technically a craft brewery again. So
Kings and Convicts, for those that don't know, is a unknown brewery in the middle of unknown nowhere, Illinois, outside of Chicago.
So I could be right. It could be a bedazzling jean company.
Correct. So that was kind of shocking when they, it came out like, oh, Kings and Convicts. So it wasn't them that bought it. It was a group of people that used that name to buy it. So there was money behind it. So
hey, I'll say this. I hope nothing but the best because, even when Ballast Point was owned by Constellation, I didn't see a decline in quality of their beers.
no, but what I read was they dropped production significantly over the last couple of years because they couldn't meet demands.
The other thing was that when they were releasing Sculpin, when grapefruit Sculpin became a hot commodity, it blew my mind that a 6-pack was almost $16.
Yep.
It was just a fruited IPA. There was no... and I stopped buying. The only thing that I bought from them was Victory at Sea, the other Victory at Sea variants, and the barrel-aged Victory at Seas. Those were the ones that I liked. And when I had their Kolsch in San Diego on tap somewhere, I think a hotel bar, but I was like, man, that's local. So it was... That's when I fell in love with Kolsch's.
Yeah.
Was I forget the name of it, the San Francisco Kolsch or San Diego Kolsch or some shit like that. It wasn't the even keel. It wasn't their like mango Kolsch, but I enjoy Ballast Point. I went there recently here in Chicago. They got their Chicago tap room. Brandon, have you ever been there?
No.
It was funny because
I've been to the San Diego one, though.
I have not.
And I will be there again at the end of the month.
Yeah, you've got some... Oh, I just punched the mic. You have some beers you have to bring back from California.
Yeah, probably.
Are you going to be there when Pliny the Younger is available?
I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah, we'll bring back some fucking California beers regardless, because I'm sending my wife... Well, Laura might go to Ireland, so I'm going to see if I can get her to...
Ireland? For what?
A wedding in May.
What?
I don't know.
You don't want to go to... Oh, you don't want to go to Ireland?
No. I mean, I do, but no. But she's going to be gone. It's Memorial Day weekend. I'm going to have a barbecue by my house. I'm going to brew some beer. I'm going to make some sausage. Like, actually make some fucking sausage. But no, we're going to... Throughout the year, you and I will both travel at some point. So I think when we travel, let's do it. But the Ballast Point here in Chicago has a phenomenal R&D souring program.
Ooh.
I had some of my most favorite
hope it sticks
sours
around.
ever. Laura loves sour, my wife. She loves sour beers, and I'm not a huge fan, but I enjoy them. All the beers that I tried that were sour were awesome. I also had some barrel-aged beers, but those sour beers were fantastic. I've never actually had sour wench, which I think is a I don't know, like French oak barrel-aged sour beer or red wine barrel-aged beer.
Oh, fancy.
Ballast Point does make... Ballast Point does make some serious sour beers.
Nice.
They're very good. And I'm just getting into sour beers a little bit more now. Because my wife likes them, so I gotta like them too.
It all works out in the end.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyways, another rant done. Another After the Final Pour. These have been the most informative After the Final Pours we've ever done.
Yeah, we got into it. Got into the beer and the history. And
I'll say this: the worst part is that it's you and Kevin, and I'm not there with you guys.
You don't know that yet.
Until now.
He may never be available again.
Right now is when I'm going to appear.
Kevin may never be available again.
Kevin will be available. He wrote the theme song with the three of
us. I still haven't heard
it. Oh, yeah, it'll be a part of it. Don't worry. Anyways, I don't know what's happening. Thanks, everybody. This is After the Final Pour. And this part will be edited out because it's going to be one cohesive episode with going the in-betweens.
You never know. This might be the end of it.
Is this it? This is the last time we're going to do it?
No.
After.
Yeah.
So, we should do this. This is the after the final pour, because we've done after the final pour with Utopias into.
Yeah.
This is going to be embarrassing to listen to.
That's why we edit, dude.
Bye.